So Netflix put out another stinker. Why are we not surprised? Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we reach the end of a saga, the end of an era, the Jennifer Lopez trilogy. We saw her fall in love with Ben Affleck. We saw her tell the story of loving Ben Affleck, and now we look at the aftermath. Are they happy? Are they not? So for those of you who don't know, Jennifer Lopez signed a multi-picture deal with Netflix with her production company called New Yorican Productions. Get it? New York, Rican, Puerto Rican, New Yorican.
I used to live here.
Huh?
I used to live here.
What is your name?
My name is Jennifer. Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
And the idea behind the initiative is to bring a diverse roster of female professionals of the industry, writers, directors, actors. And the initiative is great, right? But my God, do the movies have to suck so bad? The first one was The Mother, starring Jennifer Lopez. And if you haven't seen it, don't worry, you're not missing much. It's bad. It's garbage. And the second one was meant to be The Cipher, but I can't find it anywhere, so I'm going to assume Atlas is the second one. Now, 2 movies in, and this just feels like a deal for Jennifer Lopez to star in action movies. And she's already not having a good years. So y'all remember she's been trending because she's awful to service workers everywhere. The stories just keep coming. They keep piling on. It's incredible to see, really. Then she decided to declare her undying love for Ben Affleck after their infamous relationship back in the early 2000s. And I feel bad for her because months after this artistic project that really spoke from the core of her soul, they're allegedly separated. I mean, she did make that movie and documentary against the better advice of everyone around her, including people who ended up working with her. They were like, this is not a good idea. You shouldn't do it. I don't want to do it. Please don't do it. But then she did it. And the result was so good. And I've been seeing videos of the press tour for Atlas, and I think Sterling K. Brown doesn't like her. He's been very snippy with her. And then I also saw her Actresses Roundtable. She was joined by a group of award-winning actresses, but if you watch the interview, it truly is the Jennifer Lopez show. Like, she misses no opportunity. She's like, Renee Zellweger, how was it like to play a real person? You know, because when I did it, and she just keeps going on about herself. And the way she talks about Hustlers, y'all, yeah, you know that she wanted that Oscar nomination, and I just know from her whole demeanor that she was pissed when she didn't get it. So watching Atlas, I keep having this in the back of my mind that she wants to be the star, and she's going to be the star. Now, could the movies be good? Yeah, but they're not. It's lazy writing, it's a lazy story. We've seen it done before many times, so much better. But Netflix keeps making these multi-picture deals. Do y'all remember when they signed a deal with Adam Sandler, and then we were gifted with all of these? And it's not just Netflix's fault. I blame audiences as well. If you look at the most watched Netflix original movie of all time, it's Red Notice. It's like the Zionist Conference 101. I mean, have y'all seen this movie? It is so bad. It's unwatchable. But it's the most watched movie because people have worms in their brains. But let's get back to Atlas. It tells the riveting story of an analyst who hates AI machines and then gets stuck inside an AI machine. And because this has Jennifer Lopez, we had to get a romantic storyline in there between her and a literal robot. An AI. If you watch the press tour interviews, it's so funny to see them like really talk this movie up. Like, oh, it talks about the good and the bad of AI, and it's meant to be this in-depth analysis of creation versus creator. And I watched the movie and I was like, where are all these insightful conversations and discussions about AI? Because we all know that AI is very in the now. Everyone is talking about it. It's disrupting industries and changing the way we work, and also threatening artists everywhere. But Atlas is here to prove that AI isn't always bad. The trick is to make bad AI, then fight that AI, and then create a better AI. And how do you know it's better? You just do. Okay? And if you have to ask that question, then you're stupid. Shut up. I don't know. Atlas is reviving this beef that I have with Netflix because I'm tired of this. Netflix has been on one lately, okay? Their original content is just bad nowadays. It used to be Oscar-worthy, Oscar-winning, and now it's just unwatchable garbage. and I'm going to start a new series here. This is the end of the Jennifer Lopez trilogy and the beginning of my personal beef with Netflix. And no, I'm not talking about the series Beef, which is actually a great piece of original content. No, I'm talking about how many unwatchable movies is Netflix going to have to put out until they realize, stop, you need help. And to carry on the torch from Jennifer Lopez, we are going to dive into 365 Days, the riveting trilogy. God, y'all, I cannot wait to film that and show it to you because it is beyond bad. It's the worst romance I've ever seen, if you can even call it romance. But anyway, that's for another video. Today, we got Atlas, AI versus humans. Is artificial intelligence really our enemy, or is it a friend? And if you think that the main character was modeled after a certain actress and singer, I don't know what to tell you, you're not wrong. I was disappointed. I was expecting this to be an absolute pile of garbage that is so bad it becomes kind of good and you can make fun of it. But then I watched it and I was thoroughly disappointed. Like, this movie's not so bad that it's good. It's not so great that it's surprising. It's just boring and generic and bad. Also, the special effects are really bad. And that's surprising for Netflix. Netflix has this thing where they'll either make great special effects and you're like, whoa, or they'll make really bad special effects, but they make them look like they're supposed to be good. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like you're being gaslit into thinking the movie's good, but it's not. It's still trash. But in your mind, you're like, this has to be good because it's got a good cast. It's Netflix. It's an original piece of content. The marketing team behind it is crazy. They've been pushing this on people everywhere and anywhere. After watching this on Netflix, it kept pushing this movie on me. I was like, I've seen it already. And usually if you see a movie, it stops being like advertised to you directly. But somehow Atlas kept being like the main star of the app. And I'm like, even if you don't want to watch it, there's no way that you're going to resist so many temptations. Well, I didn't. But I'm doing community service. I watched it so you don't have to. And long story short, meh. So we're going to go into spoilers right now. So if you haven't seen the movie and you really want to watch it, why? But also, good for you. I'm happy, I'm glad, and without further ado, let's get into the shit show. The story is really quite simple. AI robots like home bots, medical bots, transportation bots lived in harmony with humans until one day, this robot that was created at Shepard's Robotics rose up against the humans. He was able to bypass all of the security protocols and send a message to all of the bots around the world, and they turned on humans everywhere. They started killing us, a war ensued, then countries formed the ICN, the International Coalition of Nations, to fight the AI bots, and they won the war, which is very surprising in these movies. They always lose. But they win the war, and the AIs all leave the planet. And the leader of these AI bots, Harlan, leaves a message saying, I will be back to finish what I started. And Harlan was created by Val Shepard and raised alongside her 10-year-old daughter, Atlas Shepard, which is Jennifer Lopez in the past. So then we jump 28 years, and in the present time, the ICN military, I think, they capture the main lieutenant of Harlan's army, Casca, and they bring in Atlas Shepard to interrogate him. Now, Atlas Shepard is played by Jennifer Lopez, right? This is 28 years after she was 10. So she's playing a 38-year-old. Listen, I'm all up for admitting that Jennifer Lopez looks great for her age. She does, undoubtedly, like, insane how she keeps it up. But she doesn't look 38. She looks great, but she doesn't look 38. Having said that, it's actually refreshing to see them hiring an older actress to portray a younger character, because usually you get really old men playing really young men, and then they always get paired with really young women, and it's just always creepy that they keep recycling the women, the younger the better, and then the men just stay relevant for 10, 20, 30 years, and it's like, yo, enough's enough. No one believes that old, wrinkly 8-year-old is 40, and no one believes that beautiful 20-year-old fell in love with him. So Atlas is a nutcase. She hates AI robots, she hates technology, and she drinks a lot of coffee. Those are the main points. And then we see a conversation between Elias Banks, this military guy, and a lieutenant. And Elias is basically saying that she shouldn't be brought into this operation because she is rude, she's hostile, she's aggressive, and she might be mentally unstable because she failed her Rangers test like 4 times. She's like hostile and nobody wants to work with her. And then the lieutenant is like, no, that's what gives her the edge. No one knows more about AI bots than she does. Yeah, but nobody wants to work with her. What is she going to do it all by herself? And the way they're talking about her, like she's unlikable, she's mean to everyone, she's rude, she has no manners, no decorum. I'm like, that sounds like all the TikToks about her. It's so mean. But hey, listen, if you have a problem with me making fun of this movie or making fun of her, I want to assure you that I'm fully aware she is a multi-millionaire. Okay? She's never going to see this. This is not going to affect her life in any way, shape, or form. And I'm just having fun. Okay? At the end of the day, she is a successful performer. She's had a long, successful career, and anyone who can stay relevant for that long in the entertainment industry deserves their flowers. So I'm not here to say that she doesn't deserve all of this. I just think it's really funny. And so therefore, I'm going to try to make jokes about it. Now, mind you, this movie isn't that funny. There's not a lot of joke opportunities apart from her acting. But we're going to try, because we are tryhards in this channel. So she's brought in despite everybody in this military hating her, and she interrogates Casca and is able to get Harlan's location by tricking him. She's just a trickster. And Casca's like, you're old and you're vain. I'm like, damn, Casca.
Vanity is in fact one of your defining flaws. They're not your biggest.
This is Atlas you're talking to, not Jennifer Lopez. It's very clear that for Atlas, this is personal, okay? She hates them on a visceral, personal level, and we don't know why. We just have to believe that this Puerto Rican Karen has her motives. Oh yeah, she's like a Karen the entire time. And I just think it's funny that she never misses an opportunity to tell us that she's Puerto Rican. I think everybody knows, but you know, it's always good to have a little refresher.
Yeah, I grew up, I'm Puerto Rican, so I like rice and beans.
Are you Puerto Rican?
And yes, I am. Rice and beans and like, you know, chicken and stuff like that.
pollo. Me gusta.
Now that they know Harlan's location, a human's plan is to go get him, bring him back alive. They're going to go to this planet far away in the Andromeda Galaxy, and they're just going to bring Harlan back alive. 28 years after we've seen him, and Atlas is not having it. She's like, sir, this is a mistake. He probably knows you're coming. It's probably going to be a massacre. You're putting everybody's lives in danger. Please don't do this. This is a mistake. If you all go and try to bring him back alive, you're all going to die. And in comes Elias like, no. We have a solution to battle these AI bots. And the solution, ladies and gentlemen, is more AI bots. That's right. Real life or fiction, human solution to a problem is always to repeat the problem. And why are we not surprised?
I'm sorry, but my pronouns are she and her, not it.
No, I'm kidding. The solution to battle AI is walking coffee machines.
You wanted a coffee?
Here you are, Agent Shepard.
Elias explains to Atlas that these robots are different, okay? They're not like the old ones because this is so stupid. The old ones turned on humans, but these real ones won't because we're connected to them mentally. They have this neural link, which Atlas's mom invented. Originally, the neural link was meant to transfer information from the AI onto the human brain. So we, knew how they were learning, how they were evolving, and etc. But this new neural link connects humans and AI so that information flows both ways. So not only are we learning about them, but they are learning about us. And the idea is to create this symbiotic relationship between human and AI, which is neither human nor AI. It's both, and it's neither. It's something bigger and better. And that's how they know that they're not going to be hacked by Harlan, and they're going to defeat this army of robots. We know where they are, but we don't know how many or how strong they are. And we're going full force with these massive mechanical suits. And Atlas insists on going on the mission. Now you may think, wait a minute, she's an analyst. Why is she going on a battle mission? Well, she also wanted to be a ranger, so she has some fighting skills in her, and she has a lot of a saucy attitude against AI bots, okay? There's no one on this planet that hates them more than this Karen. Because it's just hard. You ask them to send an email and they start playing Taylor Swift. And also important detail is that humans created this protection veil around Earth after the battle with robots, so that now anything that wants to enter or leave Earth has to go through these security check systems. Very fancy, very hoity-toity. I feel like Elon must have a finger in this. They're probably called the X-Net, because it's a net and it's X. Woo! Atlas gives a briefing to the Rangers, and she doesn't know much about the AI. She doesn't know how many there are, what their plan is, but she knows one thing. we cannot trust them, okay? Those Neuralinks of yours, they're gonna hack into them, and then you're all gonna die because you're all going in blind and you have inflated egos and you think you know what you're up against, but you don't know. I know. I'm the expert here. And like, no wonder everybody hates her. She's just very hostile. Let's work on your delivery, Miss Atlas. And she pleads with Elias to like think this through because it's probably a mistake. They're probably gonna die. And at this point, they're hovering over this planet where Harlan supposedly is. And he's like, no, we know what we're doing. Don't worry, Atlas. And then they start getting attacked. As soon as he tells her that they have it all under control, everything goes out of control. There's a bunch of explosions. They're getting hit left and right. Atlas is about to die. Elias grabs her, puts her in one of these mechanical suits and tells her, sync up with your AI and go. And they drop her on this planet and she starts free falling, screaming, holding on for dear life. And no matter how many people tell her that she needs to sync so she can not die, she refuses. She's like, I would rather die than connect to them. Luckily, she doesn't die because this is a movie and we need our main character no matter how much we dislike her. And she crash lands on this planet, hits her head, and is knocked out. She wakes up in this location. She's got a headache because she hit her head. And she has to meet the Rangers at the drop-off point. Now, this is where her emotional story arc starts because she starts talking to the AI inside this ARC machine. His name is Smith, and he tries to tell her that she needs to sync up if she wants to survive, if she wants to control the suit and have better mobility, better fighting skills, everything. Long story short, you want to survive, you gotta connect. She's like, no, I'm not going to connect, but you're going to take me to this drop-off point. And they bicker back and forth because Smith wants to protect her and ensure she survives, and she's just gambling with her life because of this deep, dark hatred that she has for Harlan. And then she never gives different notes, you know? She never lets us in. She always has this snarky front, just mean, just mean. She's like that high school popular bitch girl who nobody likes, but everyone just follows around because she's pretty and she's popular. Act 2. Jennifer Lopez gets to the drop-off point and all the Rangers are dead. And they didn't die from the crash. They were attacked. She's beside herself. She has no one. There's no vital signals anywhere in her vicinity. So she does what any military person would do in this situation. She collects all the tags to make sure that all the families are informed. But yeah, she takes too long because now Casca, remember Casca, he's back with a brand new suit, sees her and launches an attack on her. Smith is like, yo, connect now or you're gonna die. And she's like, no, just run away. And then he starts getting snarky with her because he's studying her personality. He's analyzing her vocabulary and he's basically adapting to talk like her. And that includes a lot of sarcasm and bad attitude. At one point she's cornered and she tells Smith to deploy the Eon Bomb. The Eon Bomb is like the biggest weapon she has in the suit and is saved only for the most drastic of situations. And this, to her, is the epitome of danger. Smith tells her, this is a bad idea, you shouldn't do it, this is not what the Eon Bomb is for, but she's like, do it! And so he does. And that kills all the robots in her vicinity, but it also creates a sinkhole, sending her down into darkness. And now she's stuck under the rubble. And she broke her tibia bone. Y'all, the tibia bone is, I think, the biggest bone in the human body. It's inside of her thigh.
Is that a bone?
Oh, that looks painful. There's like a bone sticking out of her leg. And Smith is like, listen, you've had enough, okay? I've had enough. We've both had enough. If you want to survive, you gotta sync to me. Otherwise, we might as well just start praying. And finally, she's like, okay, I really am at the end of my rope. Let's connect it. And they can't. They can't connect because there's a problem in their minds. And Smith is like, I'm fine. I've never failed this before. I have a perfect track record of connecting with humans. You're the problem. Again, if you change Atlas to Jennifer Lopez, it's gonna make sense still. So they get to talking a little bit while he tries to pry information out of her and she's just non-cooperative. And he tells her, like, you're combative. I'm trying to connect with you. I'm trying to have a conversation and you're just not helpful at all. But in the process of syncing up, Smith gets more and more access to her mind and asks her about Harlan and realizes that Atlas and Harlan shared a mother. And that's enough to boost the sinking process a little bit. They're now getting more and more connected, more friendly. Atlas's walls against AI are slowly coming down. And all it took was for him to go into her brain and study it. And she escapes this underground tunnel that she's stuck in and goes for a stroll. The idea is to head to, again, the drop-off point. I don't know. It's where they're supposed to meet if everything goes wrong. And along the way, they find a plant. It's a new species that isn't on Earth. And she names it Planty. Now, I just feel like this is really lazy writing.
Best I got is, plenty.
But they name it Planty and keep on going. Then Casca attacks them again, but he gets killed by some sensors that she left. Anyway, they realize that Harlan is on the planet and he has their spaceship. And this spaceship has a lot of warheads that were meant for this planet. You know, those warheads were meant to destroy this planet so Harlan would die. And now he's got all them bombs. Like, what is he going to do with them? You know, it could be dangerous if he goes back to Earth. So Atlas is like, we need to go stop him. And Smith is like, no, you need to go to the again, drop-off point, whatever it is. Security deposit, security point, safe point. Let's call it a safe point. You need to go to the safe point, otherwise you're going to die. And she's like, no, because this is the only opportunity that we have of destroying Harlan. And Smith can't understand why she's being so destructive and is able to, again, access more of her trauma and feels her pain, feels her emotional pain. And he's like, whoa, I've never felt this much pain in my life. And I mean, I would too. How would you feel if you released a movie about the greatest story never told, only for said love story to end a couple months later? That's embarrassing. That's sad. And then they're walking and they're talking about the implications of being alive and having a soul and being connected to everything else around you and how we're all just energy and... Ugh. It is so generic and boring, y'all. You want to see a movie that expertly explores these themes? Just go watch Ex Machina. Go watch the Terminator. Hell, even Prometheus and Alien Covenant are better than this. This is just generic 12-year-olds having an awakening. Remember those times that you went to Tumblr and Pinterest and you just saw this image that had like this quote and you're like, whoa, that makes so much sense, dude. Hang in there. And it's like a picture of a cat hanging in there. This is what it feels like. It's generic. It's taken out of an Instagram reel. But all of this is helping them connect. All of this is helping Atlas bond more with AI. God, they really want to drive this point that artificial intelligence can be good, you know, as long as they're human. Because at the end of the day, this relationship that she has with Smith is flourishing because Smith is imitating her. Smith is acting like her. Now, artificial intelligence is supposed to be, you know, an entity, a thing that is intelligent, thinks things rationally. Once you start filling this artificial intelligence with emotions, it's not really AI anymore, is it? It stops being AI once it starts exhibiting emotions. Y'all, am I overthinking this or did they just underthink it? Okay. They get to this base and they put the geolocator thing so that the battalion from Earth can get to this planet and bomb Harlan to pieces. But they realize that actually they are planning something right now with the ship that has all the warheads. But before they can do anything, Smith is hacked by Harlan. That's right. These new and improved AI machines are fallible. Who could have seen it coming? Oh yeah, Atlas. Atlas could have. Atlas did. Atlas told y'all, and you still called her crazy and paranoid. And now she's been captured by her long-lost brother. So we get a family reunion. Oh my god. Simu Liu tries his best as Harlan to be a villain, but it's bland. It falls flat. He's unthreatening. It's sad. It's bad. He tells her the grand plan of the machines, which is to send this spaceship back, get through this security veil, and then drop all the bombs so they can incinerate the planet and then rebuild it with some human survivors that are going to be guided by AI. And I honestly think it's a pretty good plan. It's probably the best plan. Look around. We're destroying ourselves. We are literally our own downfall. So that's something they have right. But this is a movie. We can't root for the villains, no matter how compelling their cases are. It's this new trend where they make villains have this ironclad logic that you can't argue against because they're factually and objectively correct. But then you have to bring human emotion into this, and it's like, no, but we're fallible. That's what makes us humans. That's the human nature, the human spirit that will always surpass any enemy. You know, you can't fight against human nature. That's unique to us, and in every movie, it's always this tenacity of the human spirit that saves us all. Aren't we tired? Like, I want to see a movie where the AI wins. Like, I want to see a movie where the humans get fucked. And then we have the third act. She's now trapped in this bed. If you're wondering why she's alive and Elias is alive, well, Harlan needed a code to get it through that security system around Earth, and now they're just here, alive. I don't know why he didn't kill them. Like, villains always make the dumbest decisions late in the game. Like, they have everything they need. All they had to do was kill these two, and they would have won. But no, we always have to come up with some bullshit so humans can win. And Elias gives her his neural link so she can connect to Smith again, because arcs never fully shut down. And then we finally find out why Atlas is so against machines, the source of all of her trauma, and it's mommy issues. And again, I go back to her film where she talks about feeling neglected as a child by her parents, and that's what caused her not to love herself growing up, and this was the result. It's like an autobiographical movie that isn't really autobiographical, but so many parallels. Everything is so on the nose, it's hard to argue against it. So back in the heyday when her mom was paying so much attention to these robots, she felt neglected and wanted to be better. She wanted to improve herself, so her mom paid more attention to her, which, oh my god, it's so sad. It is really sad and heartbreaking, but that's Atlas's reality. So she went to Harlan, she was like, hey, can you help me, like, be better? Because my mom hates me and she loves you. And he's like, you know, I could change this neural link so that information flows from your brain to mine and my brain to yours, and then I could help you. But I need a human to approve the command, and your mom wouldn't like this. Would you like to help me? And she's like, yeah, of course, because I want my mommy to like me. And so she does, and that's how Harlan learns about humanity. You know, he gets all this information from Atlas's brain, and in the space of a few seconds, he decides to kill us all. So it's like, how bad are we that an AI gets a glimpse into our reality, into our history, into our minds for like 10 seconds? And that's enough for him to go full-on global genocide. It's bad, isn't it? We need to do better, but we're not going to. Because we're humans. We're flawed. That's what makes us special. And that's what happened. Atlas is the one who gave Harlan the tools to bypass all the security protocols and start the AI uprising. Atlas is responsible for the deaths of millions of humans, and that's why she's so insufferable. And you know what? Still not a good excuse. Change your attitude, ma'am. Get a job. Get a f***ing job. Do that challenge. So now that Smith knows about the full extent of Atlas's trauma, they fully connect. Finally, they hit that 100%, and this symbiotic relationship that we were promised from the beginning is here, and it's just a bunch of holographic screens in Atlas's mind. She can now see into his insides, and he can see into her insides. And she goes out swinging. There's a long-ass sequence of her just fighting a bunch of AI robots, and she succeeds mostly. Then Elias helps her out by sacrificing himself, and that gives her a bit of extra time to continue her rampage, destroying AIs left and right. And then she sees the spaceship going back to Earth, and she's like, Smith, I'm gonna have to shoot it, but you have to deactivate the orbs inside, so when the spaceship explodes, the orbs don't, and we don't die. And he's like, but I can't, I'm not gonna have enough time. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna take the shot. And she takes the shot, and the spaceship explodes, but the orbs don't. That's right. In the nick of time, Smith managed to deactivate them all. Success. And he's like, how did you know I was gonna have enough time? And she's like, I trusted you. And this is the end of the emotional arc. You know, she got traumatized by Harlan. She lost all faith in AIs, but then she met this one AI who got to her heart, who told her, no, you're special. You're special and you can trust me. And she did. And now they're friends, borderline lovers. You know, they have access to each other's minds, right? Do you think that they can, like, do sexy things? Because I think that's where the movie's headed. Anyway, Harlan's alive. He now has a sword, and he's beaten the hell out of J-Lo and her suit. He's eating their asses for dinner. Ooh, that sounded sexual. And this goes on for a few minutes. Whatever. But eventually, she gets out of the suit, and she stabs him from the back. She kills him. She's like, yeah, I got it. And yeah, Harlan's now dead. And Smith is dying because Harlan just beat the shit out of him. And Atlas has a little emotional moment with the machine. And y'all, tell me that this doesn't look like I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy telling him that I like him. And they're just being so cute with each other, and she's breaking down because finally she's come around. She now loves AI. You know, she doesn't hate them anymore. Smith changed her, and y'all, what the hell? This is not even the worst romantic storyline we've seen with her. Remember when she was a lesbian and then fell in love with an obnoxious straight man? Let's go watch it here. But Smith eventually dies, and a battalion from Earth arrive, and all is saved. Jennifer Lopez is alive, and she's so happy. She's so happy to be alive. She turns to the sky dramatically and takes a deep breath. She's out of the woods now. This is the aftermath of the aftermath. And we do another time jump, and now she's a ranger. She finally passed her tests, I guess. She's no longer an and she doesn't drink as much coffee. And the movie ends with her entering another ARC suit, and she's like, my name is Atlas, what's yours? And the voice is like, I think you know who I am. And y'all, it's Smith! Ah! They're back together. It feels romantic. It shouldn't, because it's not two people, it's a woman and a machine, but it feels like a romance. And that's the end of the movie. Now, y'all, this is not the think piece it's trying to be. That this is no groundbreaking analysis and exploration of AI and humans and whatever. It's just an excuse to have her as the main star of another thriller action movie. But I just wish they would make them good. You know, make them good. The movie is forcing her to be this very strong, passionate character that, you know, she stands on her. You know, she's strong and she's fierce, and it doesn't come across as any of that. She just comes across as obnoxious. Like obnoxious. So again, I ask, is this autobiographical? I don't know. But yeah, Atlas, a robot-hating Karen who goes on a journey with a robot to realize that robots aren't actually bad if you're inside of their mind. It was just bland and generic. Anyway, not as entertaining as I thought it was going to be, but you know what? There's more, because this is a multi-picture deal. There's more, so maybe we'll have another J-Lo trilogy in the future. But for now, it's been a journey, guys. It's been a journey. We saw her fall in love. We saw her rekindle her love. And now we see her facing the world post-mortem. And I, for one, am highly entertained. At this point, what else are we going to be entertained by? You know, the world's going to shit. Might as well make fun of rich people while we're at it. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, feel free to leave it a like down below. If you didn't, like it anyway, and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, just comment, subscribe, like it. Just do all the things. Go nuts. And stick around. Next video, 365 days. Boy, oh boy, is that going to be a mess. Yeah. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye, guys.